What's up, Primos? Welcome back to another episode of So Primos. And yes, today it is just me, solo dolo, solo jolo. Melvin is out there in the world exploring the outdoors on the far north side of the Himalayas and the south pole of the universe. He is enjoying his birthday, and he's living the dream. You know, Melvin's birthday always makes me realize that I am a shitty friend. I am a very bad friend. Because we met up the other day, and then I always thought his birthday was like on the 30th or 31st, because every time we talk about his birthday, it has to do something with Halloween or a Halloween kickback or Halloween rooftop party or skydiving Halloween party. It's like some outlandish crazy shit. So for some reason, I always think that fucking his birthday is on Halloween, but it turns out it's actually the 29th. But yeah, the 29th. And he's out there celebrating his birthday. So when you're watching this, please comment down below. Tell Melvin having birthday. Tell him that hopefully he's okay. Because Melvin never thought he was going to make it to 70 or 30. Melvin never thought he was going to make it to 30. And I just never thought he was going to make it to fucking pass. I don't know, 25 or 26, because he's a big boy, you know what I'm saying? But he made it to 30, and he's very happy about his 30s. He's very optimistic about his 30s. So please leave a comment in his Instagram page. Tell him you love him. Tell him you miss him. Tell him you care about him. Tell him that you're just glad he's alive, because not many people thought he was going to make it this far, but I always believe in him. So there's that. And I should be there with him celebrating his birthday, and he should be here. And I wish he was here. But I'll tell you why at the very end of the episode. Hopefully, maybe it's nothing bad. I fucked up on something, and then if I feel like I should open up about it at the very end, then I might say it. But I feel weird doing a solo podcast because I've never done a solo podcast before. I think I've done a Q&A, but that was like a Q&A. That was like a thing that I had an outline. I had questions. I knew what to talk about because I had questions. Now I'm scared. It's all me. I'm all by myself. The thing about, and I say I wish he was here because I always wish he's with me everywhere I go. Regardless if it's a podcast, not a podcast, I'm going out, I'm going to work. I wish it was there. But I just feel like, hey, brother, who's going to be the guy that's going to be bouncing back, that's going to be hitting me, that's going to be talking down on me and hurting me? I have nobody to fucking bounce off from. It's just me. So if I fuck up, I'm just fucking up. But this time of year is it's very beautiful. October is a very beautiful month, very beautiful time. Growing up as a Jehovah's Witness boy, I never really experienced a Halloween too many times. For me, it kind of felt like it was a demon's holiday because you would go outside, you would look. Every time in Halloween, my mom would buy us Little Caesars pizzas, and then we were like, okay, hell yeah. But that was just for us to stay inside, obviously. And I remember she would always lock the doors, close the blinds, close the windows, everything. So we wouldn't really see outside. She would always have a movie. We'd go to Max Video, Hollywood Video, and we'll get like a movie. She would always get something. And then we'd always be watching TV. It's always dark. It's like they turned the lights. My mom used to turn off all the lights so no one can see that there's people fucking enjoying their life in their own homes. So when people would go door to door knocking, it's like we all got quiet. We'd be laughing. We'd be watching TV. Fucking someone knocks, turn off the TV, shut up, and they're just like trick or treat, trick or treat. And when I was younger, when I was super into Jehovah's Witnesses, I was like, oh my god, look, the demons are here to attack us. They're here to take our life, and I thought they were gonna try to take everything from us, And I'm like, dude, Jehovah is in this house. Like you kids are gonna fucking die and go to hell. Turns out, fucking, they're just having a beautiful time. And then as I got older, and that still kept on happening, I was like, man, I wish I was out there. I wish I was out there with those kids, fucking. And I was a kid too, and I was thinking this, you know what I mean? I was out there with those kids, door to door knocking. It looks so fun. And now, when I'm an adult, I go to my girl's house. And then we've gone trick-or-treating with the whole family. They meet up together. They meet up, and then they go trick-or-treating as a family. And maybe that's a very common thing. So, sometimes with my girlfriend, she's introduced very wholesome traditions and very beautiful things, like eating dinner together as a family. The family will eat at the dinner table, all of them, and they'll talk to each other, and they'll talk about their life and how life is going and life is good. And then they're like, let's go to the back. And then they all go to the back, and they're talking about life and talking about like, oh my God, you look so beautiful today. Or how's this? And they're all talking and they get updated on their life. And I remember when I first started going to my house, to her house and around her family, I just felt so uncomfortable. I just felt like, oh God, I don't know what to do. Like, why do I feel like crying? I don't know what to do. Everybody's just talking. And then they look at me and they're like, hey, Joe, how was your day? How was your weekend? And I'm like, you care? I'm like, yes, baby. How was your day? I just feel like I'm fucking 10 years old again. Like, I feel like I become the kid that wished he was asked that question. I'm like, well, it was good. I ate pretty good. School was pretty cool. And then they're like, you go to college? I was like, oh shit, no, I don't go to school. But I was hungry and I ate good today. And they're like, wow, so beautiful. We love you, right? This is your family now. And I remember just thinking like, dude, I don't know what to do. I feel so uncomfortable when someone's telling me they love me. And I look around, everybody's like looking at each other, laughing, smiling. And that's when I realized that, wow, my family did not do any of those shits. You know, on top of the Jehovah's Witness stuff, we didn't do any stuff like that. So when I went back to trick-or-treating, we pull up to like Pomona or like which is near where I live. And then all the families join together and they're like, okay, we're going to walk this street, then make a left, then make a right. And there's like a certain route. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like so beautiful. All the kids are in costume. The parents are in costumes. People are handing out beers and walking and just talking and fucking trick or treating and getting candy. It's like one of the most glorious and beautiful. Yes, if my mom saw that, is Satanas going to come after me? Yes. If she saw me trick or treating, is she gonna cry because she thinks I'm not going to heaven or I'm not going to Paraíso, that I'm gonna go with Satanas and that she thinks I went to the dark side? Basically, yes, that's right. Try to go to a city where I know she doesn't really know anything in that city. She doesn't know how to navigate those streets. But when I was going trick or treating, I felt like a piece of me was healing a little bit. I looked at all these kids and my girl and her family and this so long for so long in my life, this holiday, this thing that it's like put in your brain, like this is pure evil. This is Satan's work, right? This is evil. This is what sinners do, right? And then when I was younger, turning off the lights and I'm in complete darkness and looking at the door, the window, like little glass in between my door, my wooden door, seeing these kids being like, trick or treat. They're like 11-year-old kids, but I saw them as like demons. I'm like, no, they're here. They're here. And then I grow up and they just wanted motherfucking candy, man. They just wanted candy. They just wanted you to come out there and be like, wow, you guys are so scary. And they're like, yeah. And then you give them a fucking Hershey. You give them a fucking a donut, whatever you give a rotisserie chick, man. It's such a beautiful fucking holiday. So listen, I didn't dress up this week. I might not, unfortunately, I'm going to be working this weekend for Halloween. But brother, if you're on Instagram, please DM me your costume. If you're going out trick-or-treating with your girl, with your hubby, let me see your costume, man. Let me see what you're working with. Because some people, it's not just a fucking, it's not just a holiday, Halloween. It's not a place to get fucking candy, get fucked up. Some people, you realize, are very creative. And they're able to showcase their creativity by making these costumes, right? And yeah, most people, I think me, if I were to, I've only worn a costume like 4 times. Some might say, you know, I'm always wearing a costume because I'm never truly myself. That's fucking stupid, man. But, yes, fucking, some people like me, you buy the costume, boom, that's it. That's all you want. Hey, Bigfoot, boom. Hey, Batman, that shit's $40. Give me the kids large. That shit don't fit me that well. I look fat as fuck. I'm saving money. Boom, right? Other people get one piece here, start designing there, get some fucking paint, put some makeup on here. They put something on their neck that looks like a fucking cut. Some of them, I'm like, bro, you should be on a movie set working as like a special effects supervisor or special effects. Like, you should be designing like cuts on somebody's body, an actor's body. Like, you should be working on a zombie movie because some people get extremely fucking creative. So all that to say is Halloween's a beautiful time. Halloween's a great time. If you okay, full transparency, when I do go Halloween, I love it. When I do go, trick-or-treating, I feel good. I feel great. I don't know if I'm always going to do it, because sometimes I do feel guilty, which is maybe, being raised in the church. Every time I do any holiday, there's a part of me that's just like, man, what the fuck are you doing? But it's almost like every time I feel happy, something inside of me is like kind of going against it. So even with the holidays too, sometimes I try to embrace it with birthdays and shit, but maybe the fucking Jehovah's Witness brain is still there, But yes, if you're trick-or-treating, definitely show us your costumes you're working with, man. I would love to see it. Fucking yeah, show me what you got, brother. And like I said, say happy birthday to Mal. Oh, there was this one story I wanted to share. I don't know if I shared it on this podcast or the last podcast of Isimo, but there was there was one Halloween when I was younger, and it was a party. It was a Jehovah's Witness party, right? We were fucking Jehovah's Witnessing, fucking living the dream. We were at this party, and I kid you not, there was a stereo, there was a radio, and a brother, an anciano, an elder from the church, he brought a tape, put it into this tape player, and it was playing a speech from an elder from the church. So I look around, and then people are just standing by the speaker and this tape recorder, and they're just like, damn, shit. They were just listening to this guy spread the word of God, the gospel, and giving this beautiful, I'm not gonna lie, it was a beautiful lecture. I forgot what it was, but I remember like the way he was speaking, the way he was, his dictation, his word choice was very elegant. It was very beautiful. And I look around, everybody is like fucking, oh my gosh, this guy's spitting. Oh my God, this guy's fucking telling that wit, spitting that truth, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's not me. He is, yeah, Jehovah is God and Jesus was the Son of God. Hell yeah, this is some good shit. But someone brought a bunch of pizza. Someone brought Little Caesars pizza. We were eating. It was kind of a good time. And then when it was time to leave, at that time, everybody was like, listen, there's going to be a lot of people trick-or-treating. Just go home, go to your house, and just, wait for this thing to be over. It's going to be over in the morning. Just don't talk to these people. And I was like, yeah. And then I took a box of pizza because they were like, hey, there's a lot of pizza. Take up any boxes you want. So I told my mom, Ma, I'm going to get a fucking box of pizza. She's like, get the fucking box of pizza, all right? So we get the box of pizza, and then we're driving home, and then we see we're in the middle of the road driving, right? But it's kind of like there's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of people in the streets. So it's very slow. On the sides, it's just filled with fucking people, obviously. So I told my brother, I was like, hey, maybe not now, but maybe when it clears up a little bit, when we're driving a little bit faster, we should throw the pizza at them. He's like, okay. Yeah, let's do it. So we're driving down this road. I see a break in the traffic, right? My mom starts fucking going 30, 40 miles per hour. The speed limit. She's not breaking any laws. I don't want to put her on blast. She's following the speed limit. And then we get the pizza, put the window down, and then we get a slice. And there's a lot of people on the sidewalk trick-or-treating, and we just start throwing the fucking pizzas at them. Boom, boom, boom. I remember I hit one guy. I hit him good because I threw it at him. Boom. And I heard him say, what the fuck? And then me and my brother were just like, yes, yes. It felt like we were God's angels fighting demons. But in reality, it was just a fucking 35-year-old guy who just came out of work that's having a blast with his child, and then his wife and child have to see this guy get blasted by a fucking slice of Little Caesars pizza. And back then, the pizzas were a lot thicker than they are now. They're kind of getting a little skimpy with the pizza, but just throwing pizza at innocent children, just fucking boom, 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 boom. And my mom, she was in the front. I'm pretty sure it was a RAV4. It was like a van. It was like a small little van. I'm pretty sure she saw what we were doing, but maybe she was like, wow, these really are God's angels. They're a gift. And they're taking down Satan one fucking trick-or-treater at a time. In reality, it's like, they're not demons, they're just children. They're just like me. They're just me outside pretty much. They're just me dressed up as Batman. They're just me dressed up as a Bigfoot. But later I realized that, okay, was that a crime? No, I don't think so. I mean, no one got physically really hurt, maybe that older guy, but see, I have some weird memories when it comes to Halloween. But now I don't really do that anymore. I don't really be throwing pizza at random people in Halloween at one of the best holidays in the fucking in the year. Okay, but also, you know, on top of Halloween, bro, the amount of movies that come out around this time of year, around the horror movies, are just fucking incredible. And horror is a genre that I didn't grow up liking. I didn't really grow up caring for. I liked the scary movie here and there, but I didn't go actively look for a scary movie. Or if a scary movie popped up into the trailers, for the most part, I was never like, I'll go see it. It was always like, okay, my brother wants to go see it, fine, we'll go see it, whatever. But dude, the horror movies, horror genre is like in a renaissance. It's making a huge, not even a comeback. It's just like, it's just glowing almost. Not growing, it's glowing. It's like shining. And yes, not every single movie is gonna be a masterpiece or it's gonna be a complete hit. But even though, for the most part, with horrors, and this may not be this may not be how I feel with other movies, because I've been watching a lot of movies recently, and I'm having a blast. Just, you know, I love watching movies. Is one of the most beautiful and entertaining and enjoyable pastimes you can possibly do. I don't want to say it's a hobby, because it feels like when I think about hobby, you want to think about like, okay, I'm doing like, I don't know, I'm painting or drawing. I'm actually doing something. And I guess watching a movie, you are watching a movie, but I feel like there has to be more physical activity for some reason. But I guess I'll call it a hobby. But there's been just so many movies, especially horror. What I was about to say is not every horror movie is going to be great and completely memorable, I guess. But for the most part, when I'm watching a horror movie, I am having fun for the most part. You know, sometimes I'll be like, that's stupid or whatever. But with other movies, like a more serious, with a more serious tone, sometimes if like the story just like not hitting, it really drags. It feels like it drags a lot more, you know? Because I guess with horror, you can use other senses. You can use sound to fucking get you on. Like, it can almost like wake you up a little bit. Even like the cheap jump scares. If you're kind of bored in a horror movie, something can happen. Like, you can just look underneath the bed, like a little zoom of underneath the bed, a zoom of the face of the reaction. You hear a little crackle noise. You slow turn over here. The camera fucking pans over here slowly. And for like, it can also lead into nothing. It could just be like a scene where there's building tension and not really trying to fucking scare you or whatever. But those moments kind of really lock you in and get all your senses tingled, and it kind of wakes you up a little bit. Some of the movies are just like, you know, it's mostly just story driven and character driven. Like, okay, some movies are watching character driven and like this, the person has a terrible line, or the character isn't really resonating with you. You don't really feel anything that they're feeling. It can kind of be like, all right, bro, like, what's the point of this? What are we doing here? What's going on? Like, what are you doing? Like, where are we moving? What are we moving towards, right? But not that it doesn't matter as much to me in horror, because it does. I do want to care what the characters are doing, what they're feeling. I want to feel what they're feeling. I want to feel everything, their anxiety, their fear, right? Their despair, everything. But sometimes I can ignore it. Like, if I know a character is like, okay, you're whatever. But there's a lot of other things that I enjoy. Even as far as like the cinematography behind some of these horror movies have been so goddamn good. It just looks like you're watching a fucking painting sometimes. It's just so beautiful to look at. But like, let's see. And recently, like, okay, Good Boy. Good Boy is the movie that came out. It's basically a movie about a horror movie in the perspective of a dog, right? And listen, this movie was, you know, it was okay. It felt like very generic. It felt a little bit longer than it should have been. I think everything that the main thing that everybody says is that talks about when they talk about this movie, they're praising the dog, because the dog is like basically Brad Pitt in this fucking movie. He's basically like Bradley Cooper, any method actor you can think of, fucking Daniel Day-Lewis, Shia LaBeouf to a certain extent, Tom Hardy. This dog fucking is that dude. You forget, I mean, you don't forget that he's a dog, he's a fucking dog. But you forget that he's not he's a dog. You know that he's a dog. All right. You know that that dog is a fucking dog, right? But you forget that this dog is not an actor because he's a fucking dog. And what I say by that is sometimes they'll have something creepy in the corner, something creepy going on, and then it cuts back to the dog. And for some reason, I'm expecting the dog just to be like, ooh, ooh. But this dude is, it's like flexing his face muscles. He's like squinting his eyes. His like eyes start getting wider. They start watering. And I'm like, is this fool showing like that he's scared? Is this fool terrified right now? How is this dog expressing almost very human-like emotions? And I know they can feel, but I'm saying like with his face. And I know dogs can look sad. Yes, I know. But just the way this dog was acting, I'm like, bro, is this a CG dog? Because this dog is acting way too fucking good. If he's sad, he's like, oh man, he's like, no, I'm sad. And you're just like, brother, dog, I'm fucking sad too, because you're sad. And also, the fact that it's a dog heightens everything sometimes. Okay, the movie, a lot of people don't like it. Because, okay, it's not a perfect movie. It's kind of, sometimes it can feel a little slow, whatever. But the fact that it's a dog makes every single scene, everything that he's involved in, it gives it so much more fucking anxiety and fear. Especially as an audience member, because you're like, you never, like I said, this dog is a fucking dog. He's not a dude playing a fucking dog. He's a dog. He's a real fucking dog. So when this dog is going down in the basement, if a dude goes down in the basement and it's dark and he sees something shady in the corner and the dude's like, hello? The dog is like, and you're just like, oh, poor baby. You're a fucking dog. You're helpless. What can you do? So the fact that you know that he's a dog and he's helpless, the first layer, he's a dog and he's helpless. He can't really help himself. If some crazy shit were to happen, he can run away, yes, but if something grabs him, he's fucking donezo. So that first layer, you're just like already feeling extreme anxiety. And you want just nothing to hurt this guy. You want him to be okay. You want him to go home, fucking go to work, get home to his wife, everything, right? On the layer on top of that, this was a good actor, man. This dude's like, oh man, I'm scared with only his face. And then when he's mad, he's like, come on, come and get it, right? And this dude's like sometimes jumping over this, jumping over that, sneaking out of this. He gets choked and he's like, don't kill me. And he's saying that all with his eyes and his fucking, the muscles are moving in the right way. And yes, the dog owner, there's a dog owner in this. There was some scenes that kind of were weird with him. He felt like he was like there's a scene where he's like feeling very sick, then he yells at his dog because the dog wants to go on him in his bed, and the dog owner is like, no, not right now. And the dog owner goes back on bed and he's like, no, dude, I feel like shit. I don't feel good. I'll play with you later. Please let me sleep. The dog goes back and then he screams at the dog. He's like, get the fuck out of here. Right? He then apologizes later. But some people were like, well, this is very unrealistic of a dog owner. Why is he such a dick to his dog? And that's one of the criticisms that I saw about the character of the dog owner, where I'm like, listen, I've only had a dog for like a year, right? But I can totally see if you feel like absolute shit, because at this time, this dude was possessed and he was showing like signs of like, I guess possession. He was coughing up a lot. He was coughing up black and blood. The possession was growing within him, right? And yeah, if you feel like absolute, if you're hungover and a dog is on you and you're just like, brother, not right now, man. If you're just hungover, you're gonna get fucking mad at your dog. Maybe not as mad as in the movie, but you're gonna be like, bro, just stop, please. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. Just hang out over there and let me just sleep. Bro, if a homie's like, hey, brother, hey, if he bothers you for like 10, 20 seconds, you're going to be like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Just imagine if you're getting possessed and you feel like shit. Also, there were some shots. No, there were some parts where he sounded weird. Sometimes the way he interacted with his dog was so kind of cold. Like he was saying some like actually nice things, but just the way they recorded it, or I saw an interview where they're like, oh, it's ADR where you kind of record the dialogue afterwards, and And it kind of made sense because sometimes the interactions with the dog is very cold. It's just very like, hey, buddy. Yeah, crazy shit, huh? Which I'm not saying you have to be like all the time, but man, let's get some more warmth in it. Like, this is a beautiful dog. I think it was like a golden retriever. It's like golden retrievers are fucking beautiful creatures, man. Where's your warmth at? That's your dog. My dog is a fucking, I don't know, Pepto. I don't know what the fuck my dog is. Shitty poo with a fucking Chihuahua or some shit. But every time I see him, I'm like, come on, baby. Like, hey, you're so cute, so pita. I love you so much. Come on, where's the warmth, brother? But that's the movie that I saw too. Good boy. Dude, Black Phone 2 is another movie that's out right now, and people are not really liking it. The thing about horror, it's like, or a lot of movies, sometimes I'm like, bro, that movie was great. And then I go on Reddit online, and it turns out everybody fucking hates this movie, right? And then sometimes I watch a movie, like an A24 movie, sometimes I'm like, all right, they tried okay, maybe I missed literally every single thing in that movie, but I feel like this movie was tried way too hard to be artsy. And I'm like, bro, just tell a good story first, please, before you try to just tell a good story first. We try to get all artsy with the story, with the characters, with the movie, with the setting, everything. Please, just tell a good story, right? And then I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck the point of this movie was, right? I go on the internet, and then everybody's like, this is one of the greatest movies of all fucking time. Go on Reddit. Yeah, this movie is definitely top 5 of all time for me. I've never seen anything greater than this. I'm like, bro, how are we so different? I mean, I guess that's the beautiful thing about film and like art, right? It's like, it's so subjective. You can hate something somebody else can love. You can love something that somebody else hates. Like Black Phone 2. The first one I think is better for sure. This one, I watched it, and basically the fool comes back, and he's haunting them, and the girl is having nightmares and dreams where he comes back in the dream, and everything that happens when the guy comes back and starts attacking people and attacking them and harassing them and yada yada yada, that all happens in the dream state. But what I love about the dream state is that the dream state is filmed in like 16 millimeter film or 8 millimeter film. So when she's in real life with her and her family and her brother, it's all digital, right? All digital, like the camera that I'm using, a digital camera, and it looks great, obviously. But when you transition into the day or the nightmares, right, it becomes 8 millimeter, and everything looks. The thing about 8 millimeter too is like it looks so beautiful. It looks like, some people can say, oh, it looks like shit. It looks all blurry, yada yada. But for me, I'm like, oh god, this looks so fucking beautiful. This looks so delicious, bro. All the texture, the halation, like all the lighting looks so good, looks so dramatic, but on film it just looks so goddamn beautiful, especially 8 millimeter film, because it's such an extreme look. But I love how they use that to fucking show, because I don't think, because some movies try to hide like, is this a dream or not, right? Is this a dream or not? And sometimes you got to get into like this. You got to follow this thing and be like, oh no, it is a dream, right? But I just like how this one's like, listen, we're not gonna do that. This is a dream, okay? So, and we're gonna play with the fact that we're not trying to kind of hide the fact that it's a dream. We're gonna lean into it. We don't want to hide it. We want you to know it's a dream. How can we do that, right? How can we do that? We're gonna just shoot it on 8 millimeter film, and everything's been on 8 millimeter. I loved it. I thought it was great. It looked beautiful. Some of the shit was stupid in the movie. Some shit is always stupid when it comes to like. Some of the stuff is stupid when it comes to people, like when someone's after somebody, like a killer, a serial killer. People are always doing the dumb shit. People are always tripping. People are always waiting, right? He could be walking towards you, and you're just like, and then you're watching it, and you're like, bro, there's 3 doors, leave. And they're just like, and then you're just like, bro, just fucking leave. So a lot of times with these horror movies, like to advance, a lot of times with these horror movies, it just depends on, it just off the backs of stupid people, like people doing stupid decisions. That's how these fucking serial killers are able to do this and this and this and this. But I feel like in real life, and most of the time these serial killers are just walking slow, right? And yes, it's a movie, so they got to walk dramatic. They're just like walking slow, taking their time. They have an axe. They're just hitting it on the ground, very dramatic, right? Because if I saw that, I'm gonna be like, yo, is that your full speed? And he's just like, yep. I'm like, well, I'm fucking out of here. I'm going out through the window, bing, bam, boom. I'm going to go here, 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 here. But these people are just getting like, oh no, oh no. But yeah, it's a lot of some stupid shit like that happens. But but apparently someone told me about the movie and they were like, yeah, the movie was dope, but it's a lot like Freddy Krueger. And I never seen that movie, but he was like, yeah, it's Freddy Krueger. It all happens in the dream. Everything happens in the dream. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it is kind of like that. And he's like, does everything happen in the dream in this movie? Because I heard it's basically copying it. And I was like, I'm not everything takes place in the dream, but most like the intense like murder stuff happens in the dream scene. He's like, yep, basically exactly like Freddy Krueger. And not that it kind of it didn't ruin it for me, but I was like, I thought it was a nice idea, but if they're just copying it completely, because everything does really happen in the dream sequence. But I still had fun. I still had fun watching it, which is the best thing. Also, there's something that I really, really, really liked, and this might be a hot take, or it might not be a hot take at all. So it was like a love interest, or like a friend, boyfriendish type of character for the daughter who's having the dreams in this movie, right? He's a young Latino guy, right? I love how they just let him be Latino, right? What I mean by that, they didn't give him a crazy stereotype. They didn't give him a crazy look or crazy specific look. They didn't give him they didn't dumb him down. They didn't talk to him. He was a nice, caring young man, a smart, intelligent young man. And he used his Spanish sometimes to talk to one of these older characters. And there was also another older Latino character. And as a Latino myself, sometimes I really appreciate when characters that are Latino are just characters in a movie and they happen to be Latino sometimes. Like I love seeing brown people on movie screens, but sometimes I've seen brown people and they're playing like stereotypical extreme stereotypical Mexican, stereotypical roles of the way that they should talk or the way they sound. And sometimes honestly the writers dumb them down so much with they're like the butt of the joke. That's one of the things that bothered me about Fury, even though I love Fury. Michael Pena is great, but like I feel like they make him just stupid and like a drunk, stupid guy. And he's great in that movie, but like it just bothers, it irks me. Even though the movie's great, I love the movie, but sometimes seeing like stuff like that kind of irks me a little bit. It irks me a little bit. Like, dude, can't they just be Mexican and Latino and they don't have to be stupid, first of all. They don't have to be dumbed down, right? And they don't have to be extremely fucking like A-homes. Like, they don't have to be like that in the movie because it wouldn't even make sense in this movie, right? Because I saw Fury and I loved it, but I'm just like, man, why is he always gotta be the comedic relief or the butt of the joke or say something stupid? Like, why can't he just be a smart war soldier? You know what I mean? Or soldier, yeah. But watching this movie, I really liked how he was just like a nice, young, smart, intelligent dude that really was a friend that this girl trusted in, that could feel like she could be herself around this guy. And then he was just a smart young man. And when they used Spanish, it was to connect with the older gentleman that lived at this fucking this school where the movie takes place, and he was Latino too, and it just felt good. I want to see more Latinos playing just great characters, being in great movies, playing great characters that have depth, and it's not all about like, oh, I'm Latino in the movie, so I gotta play Latino. Everything I do is gotta be Latino. I can only be like in the Mexican movie, or I can only be in the movie if it's like shot in Mexico or a Latino film. Like, that's all great. I love all of that. Don't get me wrong, but like sometimes I want to just see them like be in the movie and be just any character, just be a character. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that sounds bad or not, but I just love seeing them when they're not like stereotypes, you know, and that's what I liked about this movie at all. And every time I see someone that looks like me on the screen, I'm just like, fuck yeah, bro. And that's why, like, I mentioned this before, but like Blue Beetle, I really like. I thought Blue Beetle was okay, but I just wish. I mean, this is kind of different, but I wish like. This is actually. Oh, I'm going on a tangent right now. This has nothing to do with the fuck I was talking about. I was going to say like something that like. I was just going to say that. I liked, for some reason. There's a scene where the dad is talking to the Blue Beetle, and I forgot his name. I'm sorry. I forgot most of the movie. There was a few scenes where there was one scene where the dad is talking to the son, who's Blue Beetle, talking about, I forgot what exactly they're talking about, to be fair. But the dad is talking in Spanish, right? Just Spanish. And the son, I forget, it's answering in English and Spanish both, right? But the dad is talking in just Spanish. And for me, when I was watching that, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. This is a conversation that I wish I would have been able to have with my father when I was younger, when he was like more of like an intense dude. I wish I could have had like these moments as I was growing up with my dad, because when I saw this guy talking in just Spanish, it was like, dude, I feel like my dad's talking. I feel like this is my dad speaking to me, and it was hitting me really hard. And I was getting like a little bit emotional. I was like, this is fucking beautiful. And then he was like, what does it say? Tenemos que tener fuerza. We need strength. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go with the crazy Spanglish you see in a lot of like movies where they're playing Latinos. Tienes que tener strength. Y está bien si tienes fear. Porque nosotros estamos strong. I'm like, man, what the fuck are you talking about, man? And then it threw me out. I'm like, bro, just let him. And I know a lot of people's parents, yes, speak Spanglish or both languages, yes. But this has felt like everybody that's Latino knows what I'm talking about when you see people, and it's a meme crazy on Instagram and on TikTok. It's a huge meme with some creators that talk about like the Spanglish you see in fucking movies or TV shows when someone's fucking literally can't even finish a fucking sentence, can't even go halfway without switching like fucking languages. They start 2 words Spanish, 2 words English, 2 words Spanish. Like, that's memed out, and they make a bunch of skits about it. But for some reason, and I know maybe it's because it wasn't my experience. Maybe because it wasn't my experience with my father speaks only Spanish. Maybe the fact that he didn't speak English threw me out. And but it just felt too like they felt like they had to make him speak English. Where I felt like, dude, if you just let him speak Spanish, only Spanish, the whole movie, I feel like that would have resonated so much more. That would have felt a lot more real, especially for first generation like Latinos and Mexicans like myself, or Latinos in general. Like, I feel like they would have hit so much harder because I was fucking feeling it so much. I was like, yeah, I remember, yeah, yes, I love you, Dad. And he's like, yes, there's strength in amor. Amor is strength. I'm like, what the fuck? He's talking like a fucking, like Caesar from fucking Planet of the Apes. Amor is strong. To forgive is fuerza. I'm like, man, what the fuck? But that movie was good. Whatever. But yes, dude. Yeah. But speaking on staying on horror. Oh shit, what the fuck? Speaking about horror, I know this is like a very horror episode, but this is a lot of what I wanted to talk about because I've just been watching a lot of movies. I might even talk about another movie that's not horror, but The Conjuring. What happened to the fucking Conjuring, man? And I'll be honest, I haven't seen all the fucking Conjuring movies. I've seen the first 2. There's the last one, which is, I guess, their last one, right? And the one with the fucking red door. That movie was so goddamn fucking stupid. And I enjoyed it, yes. Because it was so fucking stupid. And listen, do I sneak in a bottle of alcohol every time I go watch a horror film? Yes. Does that make me enjoy the movie a lot more? Yes. Do I get scared from watching a scary movie sober? Yes. Do I get even more scared sometimes watching it a little buzz? Yes. If you haven't snuck in a bottle to the theater to watch a movie, especially a horror movie, you have not experienced the full cinematic experience of these horror fucking movies. You have not felt the full scope of emotions and the full range of emotions and the full fucking the full. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. You ever felt the full spectrum, the full range of emotions you can have when watching a movie that makes you scared, that makes you anxious, that makes you fucking full of fear, that makes you cry, that makes you sad, that makes you want to die. You sneak in a bottle of fucking Bacardi, a personal bottle. When a sad scene pops up, you cry more. You sneak in a bottle of Bacardi. When a scary scene pops up, you get fucking scared as fuck. You sneak in a bottle of Bacardi. Someone dies in the movie. You're going to want to fucking die. So I try sneaking a bottle. The biggest bottle I've been able to sneak in is fucking this big. One of those Bacardis are this big. I usually sneak in the personal, but sometimes I feel freaky. And I want to get absolutely plastered to watch the scary movie. But yes, The Conjuring, the Red Door one, and someone explained it so good, where I'm just going to take it from him. This movie reviewer, his name is Jeremy. Jeremy John, yes. He said, because the son, I believe, it's like going to college, or there's like a son or a kid or son. I don't know if he's related to the fucking Conjuring. I forget. This movie pissed me off. And he has a roommate, and this girl is like basically the comedic relief of this fucking movie, which sometimes in movies, I'm like, why is there always why do we need this fucking character? This is one of the most annoying things about the last Jurassic Park movie with Scarlett Johansson and everything. Like we said, we have a Jurassic Park episode. We're just talking about, maybe not Jurassic Park, but dinosaurs and movies we've seen of dinosaurs. But what annoyed me the most is this fool. There's a fool in this movie that is just saying the dumbest shit, the comedic relief, that always has to say something stupid, and he's like the boyfriend of the daughter. And when something crazy happens, instead of letting you sit in those feelings of like, holy shit, they almost got eaten alive by this fucking Tyrannosaurus, by this dinosaur. That was fucking terrifying. You go through these range of emotions, and you go high, low, and high. They're gonna make it. Oh my god, it's fucking scary. Look at this T-Rex roaring. Look at this T-Rex fucking chasing after them. Rah, 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 the iconic scream. And then they just survive. They're able to fucking navigate through this fucking dangerous encounter. They're able to slither through a rock and fucking go underneath the rock and fucking go in the water. The T-Rex is trying to go through the water. It's trying to fucking bite them. They fucking escape. Barely. And then you want to just be like, oh shit. Let me sit down and catch my breath with these characters. And then there's just some fucking stupid ass being like, that wasn't that bad, right, guys? And then the characters are just like, and then I'm like, bro, who finds this funny? Who finds this fucking funny? Because no one else in this theater is laughing. And if anything, they're like, what? That's what I said. I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. Your girl almost died. I almost died. I'm fucking drunk. I'm blacked out. You're ruining my high, bro. I mean, you're ruining my fucking buzz, bro. Stop fucking talking. Shut the fuck up. With all due respect. You know what I'm saying? It fucking pisses me off. In a scary movie, yes, okay, it could work. Maybe to balance out unless your movie's fucking super scary. But so I just love it when a movie has a certain tone and they dive into that fucking tone, dude. Like, as hard as they fucking can, bro. Like, how deep can you go in this hole of fear and darkness? How good can you create these feelings of despair and loneliness and fear and paranoia? How deep can you go into this world, into this direction? The comedic relief bit, it almost feels like a cop-out. It's almost feeling like, I don't want to go too deep into this because I don't know if I can make it that good. I don't know if I go too deep into the horror, the thriller elements of this film. If I go too deep into that world, I'm not confident I can pull it off. So I'm going to dip my toe in there, maybe dive in, not go to the extreme bottom. I'm going to dive in. I'm still going to be on the shallow side though. And I'm going to have the comedic over here to kind of, comedic relief over here to kind of back me up and to kind of make sure my film is well rounded, I guess. Maybe you can be like, oh, you got the horror elements, you got this funny elements, you got a little bit of everything, right? Instead of just being like, I'm a fucking horror film. I want to make you scared. I'm not gonna make you laugh. This is gonna be a painful movie. You're gonna be fucking scared. You're gonna be anxious. You're gonna be fucking sweating. I want to make you tense up. I want to give you an anxiety attack, baby. You're gonna think you're having a heart attack. You're gonna fucking be sweating. You're gonna be crying. You're gonna be hiding underneath the blankets. You're gonna be full of fear. You're not gonna be able to fucking sleep after. I remember when I watched Paranormal Activity for the first goddamn time. I remember I came home and my mom was like, all right, guys, it was time to go to bed, right? So you went to sleep. And then I remember being in my living room and then it was time to go to bed. And then the lights all turned off. Obviously, we turned off the lights. But I remember being in the dark. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no, I'm fucking scared. Right? And I was like, why am I fucking so scared? I was like, I just watched Paranormal Activity and I'm fucking terrifying. Right? I'm terrifying. I just lean into what you are. You know, if you're a horror film, go all the way into horror film. Yes, you can have funny moments or funny bits, funny moments, but don't make that a thing you gotta consistently go back to. Don't be like, okay, we've had 20 minutes here of horror or of a story, of a movie. You know, maybe not all of it's gonna be horror. You still gotta tell a story, and that makes sense. Okay, after 20 minutes, oh, now I gotta some foods that have a funny scene or a funny moment. I'm like, why? Why can't it all be scary? Maybe you can slow it down. It doesn't all have to be scary, because if it's all scary, then what the fuck is scary? You know what I mean? If it's all scary, then you're not gonna really differentiate. Like, this is not scary. This is scary. This is scary because this wasn't scary. So this is really, now I know what I'm feeling because this is scary. Like, it's all one note. Then what really is? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like sometimes with Christopher Nolan, they're like, oh, these movies are really loud, and if it's all loud, then what is loud? Because sometimes you want to emphasize certain things, so you want to make it loud. But if it's all loud, then nothing can really be emphasized if it's all one note. But with horror too, if it's obviously, no one makes a movie that's all fucking scary, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, have a story, have the horror element into it, and I just want to let me dive into these characters, and you can have funny moments, some funny lines, maybe in the beginning, maybe to get to know these characters, because humor, if someone's really funny on screen, you're going to like them a lot, right? If someone's even funny in general, you're going to like them a lot. So maybe use that as a fucking character building thing, but don't just make this fool, especially in Jurassic Park, like, who gives a fuck about that kid? Who gives a fuck about that boyfriend? If you watch that Jurassic Park, think about, like, imagine this movie without that dude. Imagine without the family. You don't even need the fucking family, let alone the boyfriend who's like, oh shit, that shit. Anyone want weed? What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, what's the point of these characters if you can imagine the movie perfectly without them? It's like a fucking much better movie. But like I was saying, in the fucking Red Door, the roommate is like the comedic relief, and I don't think it's a love interest, or maybe I forget if it turns into a love interest, but she's always saying something funny and ridiculous in these times where this guy is having like a fucking panic attack, a meltdown. He's seeing demons. He's seeing fucking demons in these drawings, in these paintings. He's seeing the fucking something awful that would freak anybody out, that would cause you to go into that would give you like a traumatic response. And this girl's always saying something comedic almost, or saying something stupid. And Jeremy Johnson's like, yo, I feel like these two characters were in like two different movies almost. And that's exactly how I felt. I felt like, bro, she is in like a comedy, like a slapstick comedy or something. Or not even just a fucking comedy. And he's trying to be in this horror film. What? Why? I don't know. Just make something like Hereditary, man. Hereditary is so fucking, it's hard to watch because it's so fucking intense. There's so many layers to that goddamn movie. On top of that, the performances are incredible. But yes, it was, The Conjuring. You know, Conjuring is one of those that you fucking love. Oh, that was Insidious, maybe. Insidious Red Door, yeah. But similar people. But yeah, man, don't you just love it when a movie is not afraid to go deep into the valleys of its genre, into the depths of its genre, and play with all the elements that make that genre, and try to ignore all the other things that can take away from trying to heighten these feelings they're trying to go afterwards, that add to the tone. They just dive into it. Especially horror. Like, hey, I'm all. The more scared I am, the more creepy. Like, that's what this last Conjuring. It just felt like it's just so boring sometimes when things involving demons. Sometimes, like with nuns or whatever, it just feels like it gets so old. Like, how many movies have there been of demons and nuns and like these movies like Smile? They created a new character. And that looks fucking creepy and awful and amazing. And I love that movie too. Smile 2, I love Smile 2. There was a scene in Smile 2 where she's at her house and she's always having these visions that she can't even tell if they're real or not, right? There was this scene where it's like a whole gang of people and they're just crawling, and she's moving through her house, right? She's trying to get away from them. And those people are just crawling on the walls, they're crawling everything. I saw some movie reviewers being like, yeah, that made me laugh so much because it looks so ridiculous. But for me, I'm like, bro, that looks insanely creepy and amazing. I feel like that idea, when someone spit that out, they're like, that sounds stupid as fuck. And then they wrote like a picture. They drew like a picture. And they're like, okay, this will kind of be hard to pull off maybe. But it does look fucking creepy. And when I saw it on screen, I was like, I haven't seen anything like... That's why sometimes movie reviewers are so harsh. I'm like, first of all, this looks badass. This looks scary. This looks creepy. And this looks so different. Like, I've never seen anything like that. And you have to admire something like that when even if you don't love it, like the fact that someone's a filmmaker or somebody, or this movie, whatever, I mean, obviously made by filmmakers, but I'm just saying, like, they're trying new ways to present anxiety and horror and show different things on screen, as opposed to just like a nun walking by or screaming or a jump scare, you know? Because The Conjuring, the last one, was just like, oh, some loud noises, and I'm just like, yes, it got me, because I feel like a jump scare, that's what a jump scare is. It's like you don't expect it to get to. It's just a loud noise, and it's gonna get you all the time when you're watching a movie. You're kind of locked in, relaxed, and then obviously when something's loud, of course you're gonna get fucking like, oh, right. But sometimes that's what I didn't get. Smile 2 got a lot of hate. Smile 1 was trippy. Smile 2 was just as trippy. People didn't like that it was like a superstar. I didn't mind it. I liked that it was like a rock star. I liked that it was somebody that has so much shit to deal with already, right? That they have so much shit to deal with. They have so much responsibility, so much weight on their shoulders, right? So much anxiety of just being a traveling successful musician, so much obligations. And I love how like she was in these meetings, or she was like in these like conferences, or she had to speak in front of a lot of people, and she was seeing visions. Because I'm like, bro, that's like a different angle, a different flavor. Because sometimes the other movies would just be like, oh, I'm at dinner with my family or with these people I don't know, and then shit happens, right? Or I'm somewhere random where I'm alone at home. She's in a public eye where I feel like if I was in the public and I was doing like a conference and talking in front of a lot of people, that is the last place I would want anything to go wrong. Anything. Doesn't matter if I'm getting possessed. I don't want to pee myself. I don't want I don't want fucking to have accidentally toilet paper on my fucking shoe. I don't want anything to go wrong. And for her to be having like these sightings in front of people, and she has to play it off, and she has to be like, she has to play it off in front of, that gave me so much anxiety, because there's so much pressure just on her to appear a certain way, to act a certain way, to especially because she's in the public, she has a persona, image she has to uphold, and she has to uphold this image and tour and be a musician while she's getting possessed by these fucking terrible fucking demons and visions, and when they reveal the monster at the end, it's pretty gnarly, especially in the first one too. I love Smile 2. I love the Smile movies. Not to mention, like, fucking Terrifier 2 was one of the funnest times I've had in the movie. In that movie, listen, some people, let's say a film is a movie that, you know, look, it's like with comedy. Some people, with their comedy, they like to get in depth. They like to talk about that shit that you're going to be thinking about. They like to be cerebral. They like to talk about topics that like make you really think and make you really consider other ways of thinking, a higher level of thinking. But I'm like, yeah, but was it funny though? Was it funny? You know? And I'm not a comedian. I'm just saying, like, certain comics are, and I'm going to relate to this in a little bit. to the filmmaking thing. Certain comedians just want to be deep and deep thinkers and their philosophies, and they probably are intelligent people. But me as a fan of comedy, I'm like, yes, but agree, but please make me laugh, brother. I'm going through a hard time. Make me fucking laugh. And that's why I'm paying you money. Make me laugh. And yes, you're making me think and great, but also want to fucking laugh. I want to forget about my problems, right? I don't want to just hear the way you see the world and how fucked up it is. And that's it. I'm left with like a new way of seeing how fucked up the world is, right? I'm like, dude, well, make me laugh. Make me laugh. And sometimes with movies, I'm like, yes, a lot of symbolism, a lot of nuance, a lot of depth, a lot of pretentiousness sometimes, a lot of like sometimes like the way they shoot it is very artsy. You know, they hold on to shots like very, very long. They have very creatively artistic shots and the way they shoot these scenes, and I'm like, okay, yes, and yes, cool, but I'm like, yeah, but what the fuck did I just watch though? What the fuck is the point of this movie? What was the story? And sometimes they can be like, well, we want the audience to decide like the message or what the story was. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get. Yes, I get what you're saying. Yes, of course. But I mean, I feel like in those situations, you gotta at least do 60% of the work. You can't just be like having some extremely vague shots for the most part, beautiful looking, vague, artistic shots, and then just being like, it's up to the audience. I'm like, yes, but then, bro, I'm gonna forget about this shit tomorrow, you know? Because I think it needs to be grounded in some sort of, in some story that can be comprehensible, that we can understand, so we can build off of that. After we think about it, we can build off of like, okay, this is this, and I felt this, and I understood why, but I wonder why he did this and this and this and this. But there's still got to be a little foundation. If it's everything just so vague and artsy and beautiful shots, I'm like, yeah, but fucking, I don't really care about any of these fucking characters, because half of these fools are just eating a burger and they're just standing still and they're looking off in the distance and they're all like acting like they're in a movie and shit. Like, I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. Why would I? Yeah, it looked beautiful, but I don't give a fuck about any of these characters in this goddamn fucking movie. You can have a simple movie and it could be way better than another movie just because, and that's just, sometimes, this is like, it's just like the Jordan Peele guy. I love him. But some of his movies, I'm just like, okay, I don't know. I feel like you try a little bit too hard. And I probably missed a lot of it. I don't really fucking get it. It's okay. I'll move on, right? But what the fuck was I talking about? Yes, okay. Terrifier. Yeah, Terrifier, just a simple goddamn fucking movie. This fool is coming back, trying to kill everybody, and it's incredible. It's incredible not just because it's mindless gore. It's also because the guy who plays Terrifier is one of the most charming fucking actors, and he doesn't even fucking speak. He's one of the charmingest characters I've ever seen on screen. It's incredible. This fool is fucking like, doesn't even fucking speak, but his facial expressions are so goddamn good. He's like a comedian almost. His physical humor is top tier, brother. You'll be killing somebody, you just be like, it's incredible. Dude, I remember watching it, I'm like, I'm having so much fun. So much fun watching this movie. So much fucking fun. And I appreciate that movie so much. And if you haven't watched it, definitely watch Terrifier. But Terrifier 1 and 2. But dude, I've been having so much fun at the movies, man. Or even just watching movies, like I said. And I think now this is just basically a rant, or not even a rant, but just like me talking about what movies I've watched. Which, I don't know if this makes for a good podcast. To be honest, I don't know if it makes for a good podcast. But hopefully you guys like it. If not, then obviously Melvin's back fucking next week, and then we're gonna be back for fucking forever. But I've been watching some movies with my girl, and I've been loving these two movies in particular that I watched, that I feel like I really resonated with and really felt. And then my girlfriend's reaction was a total opposite. And then I kind of realized that maybe these movies that I'm relating to are not a movie that a good person might relate to, you know, or a good partner maybe, because I watched The Wrestler, and that's a movie I've been wanting to watch for a while, but I just never got to it. But I told her, let's watch it. We watched it, and there's just so many scenes in that movie that hit me so goddamn hard. And this is what I'm talking about, like, also with taste in movies. Some people like I have a friend who loves like surreal movies, very surreal, and I like those too, but they're just not really my cup of tea. A movie like The Wrestler hits home for me, for lack of a better word. It just feels so real, a man who's honestly like a piece of shit. He's a bad person. He's a bad father. He's a bad husband. He's bad everything. And him risking everything just for glory. And that's a common thing, especially in sports. Like, this guy's giving up his life. He's giving up his kids. He's giving up every relationship with other people just to chase glory. And he's not a perfect dude. He gets drunk. He fucking abuses alcohol. He's a piece of shit to fucking people. He's not a perfect dude. But for some reason, there's some good in him. And you can feel it. And I think it has to do a lot with the actors that play them too. And the second movie that I'm going to talk about, it's like the same vibe. Like, some people are so good at playing broken, tough, hard exteriors, but something in the performance, you can see like the hurt child in them. And The Wrestler, like, there's this guy who's like fucking up too, and he's trying to rebuild a relationship with his daughter. But he does something, and then he misses they were supposed to go out to dinner or dinner, and he forgets because he gets hungover and and something about that where it's like sometimes you try to do the right thing, you try to be better, and you just fuck up, and it's an honest fuck up, and the person that you fucked up with is like, no, you're a piece of shit. No, I see right through it. You're never gonna change, and then you're just like, bro, I know I fucked up. And I've been trying, I've been better, but this isn't me. I'm trying to, and there's no excuse for it. And you just know, like, listen, now wasn't the time to fuck up. Like, when you're trying to rebuild something, you got to be like perfect. When you try to rebuild a relationship like that, you got to be perfect. Like, if you're really going to change, you can't be fucking up in the beginning stages of the healing process with this relationship. This relationship that you're trying to rebuild, in the beginning stages, you can't fuck up at all, even a little bit, man. So when I saw him fuck up, something as simple as like I just got fucked up, and it's so stupid because I've missed opportunities and I've fucked up. Like, I've missed. Like, oh, I'll be there, I'll be here, and then I never show up because I've just gotten fucked up, and I just stay somewhere, and I go home and I pass out. I'm just like, bro, it's such a dumb way to fuck up, and you're just like, oh my god, and you feel for him, and the girl's like crying. Her performance is so real because she's like, you'll never change. I don't fucking love you. I hate you. And then he's just there, like, you feel the weight of those words and how you feel the remorse and the hate he has almost towards himself because you feel that he's feeling like, bro, I'm such a piece of fucking shit, man. Fuck, I can't not fuck up. And that scene where she's screaming at him, it feels like a scene like you shouldn't be watching. I feel like apologizing, like, dude, I didn't want to watch this. Like, I got put here. I know you're angry at your dad. I don't even know how the fuck I ended up here, but my bad, because it feels so real and the performances are so raw and authentic. But someone like him, who's like, even at the end, he's like, I'm gonna go back to wrestling. Even though he's been trying to do better, rebuild relationships, and also his heart's fucked up. He's gotta take care of his heart. But I don't know why. For me, there's something beautiful about, and this is maybe toxic, something beautiful about a man. And this is what I tell my girlfriend sometimes. Like, it might be just a man thing. And I think it might be just a man thing. There's something so beautiful about a man that loves something so much and identifies with his profession or his passion so much that everything around that falls apart because they are in extreme pursuit of greatness in this one specific thing, right? And I think it definitely is a man thing. But women can feel the exact same way too. But I feel like men do it so often, and so terribly too. Like I've heard so many stories of people that are fighters or they're this or they're this. They're going for extreme greatness and relationships don't even fucking matter. They fall apart here. This relationship falls apart. They don't talk to this person. They don't talk to this person, and everything around them falls apart. And it's all worth it. Because when they achieve, when they're on the basketball court, when they're in the ring, when they're in the wrestling ring, when they're there, it all is worth it. All the losses that they've acquired outside of this ring, it's all worth it because they feel the glory inside of that cage, inside their profession. And yes, for me to be like, that's something beautiful in that, which I still think there is something beautiful. And it's not a bad thing to say, but I think it's very flawed to say that and to identify with that. And I can understand when my girlfriend is like, bro, hell no, this guy's a piece of shit. He left his daughter, he's left his girl, and he's a piece of shit. And I'm like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He is a piece of shit. But for some reason, I'm looking at it through a very specific telescope, and I'm like, wow, there's something beautiful in the quest for fucking glory. And it is very selfish. It is extremely selfish. And to achieve great things sometimes, selfishness is like a necessary component to that. I don't know anybody that's achieved great things that hasn't been selfish. Maybe once they achieve greatness, they're able to kind of slow down and be more selfless. But when you're trying to achieve something, it requires so much of your energy, your time, and thought process that you don't care as much as sometimes for friendships or relationships. There's something very not admirable. There's something very beautiful in that. And this other movie we watched, it was a warrior, right? And then hopefully I'm not calling her out because it's a fight movie, yes, but it deals with the two brothers who have a bad relationship with their father, and the father and Tom Hardy. I think they left to go move somewhere, and then the other brother, Joel Edgerton, left to start a family, and then Tom Hardy feels like Joel Edgerton deserted him, so he's had a resentment towards him for such a long time. Nick Nolte, who plays a dad, is a recovering alcoholic. He's been sober for fucking I think like 9 years or so, but they go their separate ways. They have wrestling tournaments, yada yada. And they go their separate ways at a certain point. They reconnect when Tom Hardy wants to begin fighting. And he wants to become his trainer, right? But, when he reconnects, he still thinks his dad as like this alcoholic who used to hurt them and hurt their mother and yada, yada, yada. But he's like, no, I'm sober now. That's not me anymore, right? And the dad, the son, Tom Hardy, is kind of having a hard time kind of accepting of that almost a little bit. And there's just little nuances of that I think maybe I keep on saying it's a man thing, and I don't think it is. I think we all have unique relationships to like women to their mothers or daughters to their mothers and man to man. I think there's always this very specific relationship, like with my father me to my father, like sons to their fathers is unique as unique as like daughters and the mothers, right? But for me, and this is what I said about stories, like some stories are so simple and they have to deal with family and family relationships and trauma within family and those relationships, when movies are based around like real shit like that we all go through, they just get me good, man. They just like, I feel everything. And that's why I like watching movies that have to deal with like real characters that feel like going to like real, like familiar, like relatable stuff. Like the story can be simple, but I just feel all the weight of all these emotions. But when I feel like he couldn't accept his dad being a non-alcoholic. I mean, a sober pretty much. I feel like it took him a while to accept it, and almost I feel like there was an anger in him, almost, right? There was an anger in him, almost like, oh, now you want to be better now? Now you want to be better? And he says this later on in the movie, so I guess, yeah, I mean, it's true, but it's like, you want to be better now when I'm a grown adult I'm a man now. And now you want to come out and be like, hey, listen, I'm a changed man. And he says in the movie, he says, where were you when I was a fucking kid? Like, I needed you then. I don't need you now. And not to compare my father, but my father was an alcoholic, but he was an intense man. Very intense man when we were younger. I feared him a lot. And he was loud and aggressive and intense. And I remember when I got older and I became a man, it was like he's very soft and nice and sweet. And there was a part of me that was kind of mad. Like now you want to be nice? Now you want to be like, treat me like a son? Now you want to talk about my day or what I'm going through, my life? Now you want to do this? And because I feared him for so long, like I said, and there was a part of me that felt the same way. Like yes, you're older man, you've calmed down a lot, but fuck, when I was younger, I could have really used this version of you, a softer you, a nicer you, a guy who really just cared for me, that felt like cared for me, and I really needed that when I was younger. I don't need it as much now, But that's like my internal shit that I had to deal with and still obviously have to deal with. But those are just when I saw this movie, this is just the beginning of the movie and I'm like, ooh, okay. All right, interesting. I'm feeling right. But the dad is coming back into their lives and he's just trying his best. And the fuck ups of his past, the bad decisions of his past. And I don't know how bad they were. It's never implied that he hit somebody, but he was an alcoholic for sure. But I can relate to that so much. Like a guy that was a dick, that made bad decisions, that was a terrible, shitty person, that really has changed now, that really has made the effort to become a different person and is now trying to fucking go back and erase the memory almost of you that people still think you are. Like going back and being like, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm different. But they see you. They don't see you as the person you are now. For them, the version of you is always going to be the version they dealt with for so long and the person that they grew to hate, So I can relate to that. Fucking someone be like, I'm sorry, man. Like, but that's not me anymore. I'm different. I do this, I do that. Like I haven't been that guy for years and years and years. And the guys and the son's like, yeah, whatever, man. Don't fucking come around here. Like I never had that relationship, obviously so extreme, but I can resonate with that. And obviously there's so many scenes in that one. There's a scene where he breaks down where Tom Hardy is like fucking like basically, I don't love you, I don't need you, right? You're my coach, I don't give a fuck about you. I like you better when you were drunk. And Nick Nolte's performance is like so heartbreaking. You could just hear it in his voice and his face. He's like, don't say that, man. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. And he pushes him away and he leaves, right? And he's been sober for 10 years. And they're right at this point of the movie, they're in Vegas for this tournament, this MMA tournament. So he goes to his hotel room and then he sees like bottles on the floor. And then fucking Nick Nolte is like reciting this poem or speech. And he's like fucking drunk as fuck. He broke his sobriety, after 10 years because the pain was almost too much. The pain of almost feeling like I'm never going to have my sons back. I'm never going to have their love again back. Ever fucking again. Broke him. It's almost like he did all these things with some hope that like, listen, it's going to be tough, but I think we're going to be a family again. I'm going to be able to kind of reconstruct or rebuild this relationship. And after that moment, it's almost like he lost hope entirely. And he was like, there's no, I'm never going to have them back. What's the point? I don't give a fuck. So I want to be sober to be a better person for who? The people that I care about the most don't even fucking love me. I fucked up too much. Why not fuck up again? I don't give a fuck. There's no reason for me to try anymore. And when he sees his son, he's like screaming this poem. I feel like, God, it's such a powerful scene. And Tom Hardy doesn't say much, but he says it all with his face and with his eyes. And almost he realizes like, no. Like it's almost like he saw the pain for the first time. Like what am I doing? Like what did I do? It's almost like I'm becoming a version of him that I hated. And he's not even this person anymore. And I'm becoming like him or who he was, full of anger and rage. And now I broke his sobriety, something that meant a lot to him apparently, but he broke it because he feels I have no love for him anymore. And I do have love for him. It's just buried on top, buried below so much anger. And I feel like him, embracing him in that scene, it's so beautiful. He goes on the bed, then he brings his dad. He's like, Dad's like, no. And it's like this very like beautiful position. He goes on the bed and he brings like his dad onto his lap and he's like laying down and he's like drunk and he's like, I love you so much. I've always loved you. And it's such a beautiful embrace. It's almost like he's letting go of the anger and the hate and he's letting it go. He's choosing to let it go and finally trying to move on. And it's such a beautiful embrace because so much is said with not little being said at all. Now, so much is said with and at the same time, no one's really speaking. Tom Hardy isn't really speaking. And I feel like you feel all this emotion. You feel like him kind of like realizing what he's done and where he needs to go and what he needs to let go of to just be a better person and maybe try to rebuild something he thought he would never have anymore, like a father, like a real father. Oh my God. But yeah, those fucking, these goddamn movies, they're fucking beautiful, man. They're fucking beautiful. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes when the movie tries too hard, I'm like, bro, yes, but did you make me feel anything? Did I fucking give a fuck about any of these characters in this goddamn fucking movie? Sometimes the answer is no. So yes, a movie can be as simple, but if I really relate to every single goddamn thing they're saying or they're going through, this fool's could be fucking going to a grocery store. If I care about every decision they're making, if I care about them as people, if I feel like I can relate to them, then I can watch them do whatever. Listen. Okay, so I just want to, okay. So before we end, if this podcast sucked, please let me know. Because I do like podcasting. Obviously, I love podcasting. I love podcasting with Melvin. Sometimes I've thought about doing like one on the road when I go travel. But then I'm like, I did film one last time and I was just like, this is stupid. This is dumb. So let me know if you enjoyed this, all right? First of all. And like I said, Melvin's not here. He's out there. He's actually out celebrating his birthday, which I would hate for him to have to be here. Well, he should be celebrating his birthday. But fucking, I want to be, if you got to this far, I want to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. The episode isn't fucking. I don't even want to say it. Why we didn't put out the episode with both of us? And listen, full transparency. Listen, man, fucking, and because like, listen, we filmed the episode. We tried to film an episode, and it was so bad that I didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, we put out an episode, we'll cut it up. Because listen, I'll be honest. Listen. We filmed the pod. We tried to film it 4 times. I fucked up. Listen, before we started the pod, yes, I did buy a bottle of Jose Cuervo. Yes, I did do that. Malvin came here. We're ready to go. We usually chill for like 40, we usually like hang out for like 30, 40 minutes just talking. We just talk a lot before we actually shoot the pod. I think we're just catching up always, every single week. And then and then for some reason I was just like, yeah, he showed me, he brought a bottle and I was like, bro, that's crazy because I got one bottle. I got a bottle right now. So I just started pouring shots and then we were just talking for like 34, and I filled up these drinks like really good. And then we started fucking drinking for 20 minutes or hanging out for 20 minutes. And then we're like, we should go on live, Instagram Live. We go on Instagram Live and then we fill up more of these bad boys. And then I'm like, bro, let's go. And then it's time to fill the pod. And then I'm like, I'm slit. I'm inebriated. I'm drunkificated. I'm freaking plastered. And then I'm like, holy shit. Okay, let's keep going, right? 40 minutes in, I'm like, what? I started drinking more. And basically, I got fucked up. And the podcast wasn't good because I got fucked up. And we kept restarting the podcast because I was like, no, let's try it again. And then I would do weird shit like fucking, I would start eating chips in the middle of the podcast and just be eating. And Malvin's talking and he's looking at me like, what do you have to say? And I'm just like, yes. So it was a bad podcast. So I just like, listen, I could have, it was a bad podcast. And I didn't want to fucking post that and then cut it up and just be like fucking, and just be like, hey, this is a podcast. Because obviously we appreciate you guys' support so goddamn fucking much. We love you guys so much. So we didn't want to just throw anything up there, throw a bullshit podcast. So I'm sorry that you guys didn't get an episode with both of us, because obviously every single time I wanted to be with both of us, and I wanted to do this because hopefully I think this is much better than the podcast of both of us where I fucked up and I'm drunk as fuck and ruined it basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why this week, and today's Malvin's birthday. So we're like, what should we do? But then he reminded me like, I'm gonna hang out for my birthday. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe have time after that. I was like, oh my God, bro, stay home. It's your fucking birthday. What am I doing? I'll film. No worries. But this was a lot of fun, dude. I have a lot of fun. So like I said, man, first of all, sorry for getting too slit and fucking up the episode with me and Melvin. That won't happen again. I'm very sorry. Like I said, I respect you guys' time, and you guys give us an hour a week. I want to make sure that it's the funnest possible show. If I'm lit and ruining the pod, then I'm sorry to Melvin. I'm sorry to you guys for wasting. I don't want to waste anybody's time. So my bad. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, let me know. I would love to do shit on the road, maybe do a podcast on the road. But last time I did a Q&A and I was like, I don't know if people will like it. And I don't know if people will like this. I had a lot of fun discussing movies, and I'm always watching movies. Maybe I could talk about movies like all the time, and I don't know. Maybe I could talk about movies like in the next pod solo if I do one again. But let me know if you enjoyed this. Please comment down below. Wish Melvin a happy birthday on Instagram. Hit him up. He's 30 years old. Big 3-0, big boy. He's a big boy who's 30 years old. We love Melvin. We love you guys. Thank you guys. Subscribe to everything. Follow, like, subscribe, comment down below. We love you guys. We haven't been as active this week on social media, but we will get back on it once we put this podcast out and then get back on the train. But thank you guys. I love you guys. Bye-bye. Also, this is a very bonus or random thing, but I just want to show you a Sopita, my dog. Listen, she has a horrible haircut right now because my niece decided to we needed to cut her hair because she was having some issues with her hair. So they fucking cut her body. They cut the hair in her body, and then they just stopped at the head because they were like, you know what, we don't have time for this shit. Doesn't look that great. So he looks like a fucking little lion, but he's such a cute little guy. So Pete, you want to talk on the mic? Talk on the mic, bro. Look, Sopita. Look, that's you. Yeah, this is Sopita. Everybody say hi to Sopita. Leave in the comments, say that you love Sopita and that she's cute as heck and that you love her. Because she is adorable and she smells pretty bad, but she's cute and she is the little guy. And we love Sopita. Sopita. What is Sopita? Sopita the podcaster. Sopita.